Alright, here we are. Now, how do we know that this locomotive is correctly assembled? And it's not because the cab end was leading that way, was leading forward. We know that this locomotive is correctly assembled because the arms of each gear tower are bent away from us. The elbows, you should be seeing the elbows of each gear tower. This is the front, this is the rear. What also gives it away that this is the front, this is the cab end of the locomotive, not just because of the light bracket. It's also because the commutator of the motor is to the right, not to the left. If the commutator was this way, or if the elbows of each gear tower were away from me, away from you, and this end if it was mounted that way, then it's an incorrectly assembled locomotive. If you had one gear tower, no, it doesn't matter which, if you had one gear tower mounted with the elbow facing you and with the end of this facing you on the other gear tower, then it would be going nowhere fast. So we are going to remove the gear towers so that we can get into each truck. We can get into the gears here and here. We can clean the gear worms here and here. And we're going to clean this motor. I've got some wheels turning in my head about the motor because I have some gold motors on hand, and I might just take care of this girl and give her a gold motor. I'll bear that in consideration. And we'll also replace the truck cover on the front gear tower. So when it comes to removing the gear tower or taking locomotives apart, you want a little dish with compartments. You could get this at Joann's, at Michael's. You could probably get this at Walmart. You could probably get this at Hobby Lobby. For anyone who's out there, they might recall a shop known as AC Moore. AC Moore was such a wonderful shop, and then they had to close their doors. What a shame. But I'm digressing. So when it comes to removing the gear tower covers, I keep my thumb right over here, and you pry with the slotted screwdriver. You pry upwards until it snaps off, and because I had my thumb on top of it, this didn't fly off into oblivion. Pop that in there. And we snap off the gear tower worms from the flywheel. Put that in there. Off comes the rear gear tower. Set that right over there. And already I could see some greasy residue. Now, onto the front gear tower. Now, I have the light bracket kind of like shielding the gear tower cover from flying off into oblivion, but I've got my thumb at the ready, and then reach down and off it comes. Snap off the gear tower worm assembly. Put that in there. Get the hair around, get my dog hair away. The front truck is now disassembled, and that's a mess. That's a hot mess. Now, why did I not remove the light bracket first? Because if you're not careful enough, you could inadvertently dislodge the light bracket holder. You may dislodge it from the frame. We want to keep that bracket on that little bracket on the frame. So I am just going to take an X-Acto knife and slowly go right into here. Reach right into here with the blade of the light bracket and gently pry up that light bracket. Well, it appears that the light bracket came off. It must be that old. But we'll remount it. No worry. The important thing is we want to separate the headlight from the light bracket. Like so, and put that in there, and I'm just going to remount the bracket. Like so. So that it's back in place and it won't wander off. Right. Now we're going to remove the motor from the mounts. And with each Athearn locomotive, there are 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the motor mounts are right there. So we're going to take a blunt tool, nothing with a slotted or a Phillips head. We're just going to reach in there into the hole so that we can dislodge the motor. And it's putting up a slight fight. Curious.